Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour unto me, and thank you for breaking all the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudim.
Shalom, family. This is your brother, Pierre Ligi, and you're listening to The Remnant Awakens. If you've been with me for a while, you know we don't shy away from the hard stuff here. We dig deep, we ask the questions nobody else wants to ask, and we look for the truth behind the headlines. So today, we're going to talk about something that's on everybody's mind. These wars, Ukraine and Russia, Iran and Israel, and the USA right in the middle of it all. Why is all this happening? What does it mean for us, the remnant? Let's get into it. All right. So let's start with Russia and Ukraine. On the surface, it looks like just another territorial fight, right? Russia wants more land, Ukraine wants to defend itself, and the world picks sides. But, if you listened to the last episode, we talked about how worldliness isn't just about what you wear or what you watch. It's about the systems you trust. And these wars, they're not just about borders. They're about power, resources, and, honestly, spiritual influence. I mean, you got NATO, you got the EU, you got all these alliances, and everybody's got their own agenda. But underneath all that, there's a spiritual war going on. The enemy wants to keep the nations divided, distracted, and in chaos. That's always been the playbook, from Babel to Babylon to now. It's like every time you think it's just politics, there's always something deeper, something spiritual, moving the pieces. Now, let's talk about Iran and Israel. On the surface, it's about religion, territory, old grudges, right? Iran says Israel shouldn't exist. Israel says it's defending itself, and the world just keeps watching. But man, this goes way deeper. If you remember that episode where we talked about the legacy of Nimrod and the ancient empires, how these old spirits keep showing up in new faces. Iran and Israel, they're not just fighting over land, they're fighting over spiritual inheritance. The enemy wants to wipe out Yisrael, the covenant people. So he's creating chaos and wars through these countries to give birth to his new world order. And don't get it twisted, modern Israel is not Yisrael. There's a lot of deception, a lot of politics, and a lot of people claiming to be something they're not. It's messy, and honestly, it's meant to be confusing. That's how the enemy works. Confusion, division, and distraction. So, what about the United States? Why is America always in the middle of everything? I mean, sometimes I wonder if they just can't help themselves. But seriously, the USA is like the world's referee, but also the world's biggest player. They fund wars, they make alliances, they break treaties, sometimes in the same week. The US isn't just a country, it's a symbol. It represents the beast system, the power structure that's trying to control the world. And, I know that sounds dramatic, but look at the influence, military, economic, cultural. America's fingerprints are on everything. But here's the thing, the US is being used, just like Russia, just like Iran, Just like Israel, all these nations are pawns in a bigger game. The enemy is moving the pieces, setting up for that final conflict. And honestly, if you're putting your hope in any of these governments, you're gonna be disappointed. They're all part of the same system, just wearing different jerseys. It's like you think you're rooting for the good guys, but the whole game is rigged. So, what should we do? First, do not get emotionally invested in either side. I know that's hard. Everybody wants to pick a team. But both sides are beast systems. Both are being used by the enemy. Don't let your heart get tangled up in their drama. Second, do not follow the mainstream media narratives. I mean, come on. We know by now that the media is just another tool for control. They tell you what to think, who to hate, who to fear. Don't fall for it. Instead, go study the prophets. Go back to Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel. See what they said about the nations and the end times. Prepare in the spirit. Pray, fast. Get your house in order. Go preach the truth about Yahuwah, about Yahusha, about his coming kingdom. People need to hear it now more than ever. And go repent, obey Torah, and stay sealed. That's your protection. That's your identity. That's your hope. And look, I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes I get caught up too. I want to argue. I want to prove my point. But then I remember this isn't about me. It's about the kingdom. It's about being ready when Yahusha comes back. So, family, here's the truth. Russia and Ukraine, Iran and Israel, East and West, all of them, every single one, are pawns in a much larger game of prophecy. The enemy wants you distracted, divided, and afraid. But Yahuwah wants you awake, set apart, and ready. Don't get caught up in the noise. Don't let fear or anger steal your peace. Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. All right? That's it for today, family. If you made it this far, you are part of the remnant. Stay awake, stay humble, and keep seeking the truth. I'm Pierre Ligi, your brother from the tribe of Yehuda, and this is The Remnant Awakens. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this episode so it reaches more people. Subscribe if you're awakening to truth, and comment below with what stood out to you most. And if you know someone confused by these wars, share this episode with them. Until next time, Shalom. See you all on the next episode.
Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahusha my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour onto me, and thank you for breaking all the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudi.